Do you think the world financial system can be saved by gold and silver? It's done it a few times in the past thousands of years, but what would that mean for the value or the price of the precious metals? Can gold and silver save you and me, the people that invest in the metals because we believe in the fundamental long-term story? Hey, look, we know the fiat money system right now is totally screwed up. The Western system being held together by nothing more than duct tape and bubble gum. But can silver and gold come to the rescue again, or has it already? And what will that mean for you, for your safety and security? That's what we want, right? We want to feel safe and secure for ourselves and for our families. Let's examine this fascinating subject right now. Have you ever considered the fact that silver and gold have always been money? They were money in the Roman Empire. They were money in the ancient Chinese empires. They were even written into the United States of America's Constitution. Gold and silver are money. As a matter of fact, up until 1971, the U.S. dollar was backed by gold, but at that time, Richard Nixon temporarily suspended the gold standard and moved the dollar backing from gold more toward trust and oil. Remember those two key points. They will play a critical role in our further discussion. But while I have your attention, I hope you get some value out of this content. If you do, if you like being here in Ron's Basement with me, I like having you here. We dive a little deeper. We're a little smarter than the average bears. Please consider subscribing right here. Now let's get back to the video. Are you starting to notice that those two key fundamentals backing the dollar are starting to break down? Like, a lot of countries in the world aren't trusting the United States as much as they had maybe 10, 20, or 30 years ago. And the major oil producing countries, they're kind of fighting back against the dictates of the United States and are explicitly stating that they're more interested in trading their oil for something other than dollars, because currently the vast majority of the oil that's traded in the world is done in the U.S. dollar, and that's given the United States a big advantage, a big privilege to be the world reserve currency. Unfortunately, it appears that some of our leaders mismanaged, or some people say abused, that privilege, and now the world is fighting back. Have you noticed how strong the U.S. dollar has been lately? And it's strong only relative to some other really crappy currencies, the euro and the yen. But nonetheless, a very strong U.S. dollar that our Federal Reserve is fighting for in their fight against inflation is wreaking havoc throughout the world. There are a multitude of examples, but just look at the United Kingdom, who's dealing with a pound sterling that is depreciating precipitously. It's even created mass chaos within their bond market, which caused the UK central bank to print more money to come in and save their bond market. Throughout the world, the US dollar is causing chaos, and the world community is starting to get angry and to not trust the United States policy when it comes to the dollar. And what do you think about the fact that the whole world financial system seems to be in a state of stress right now? Inflation's really not going anywhere. Debt in the world is at all-time highs, and debt in the United States alone, the country with the big reserve currency, is also at record highs. And we can't forget, debt is just that. It has to be paid back. And mathematically, the only way that most of the countries of the world will ever be able to pay off their debt is if they have the privilege of being able to print more currency. that's what they will do. But guess what happens? If you hold a currency in a country, like let's say the United States, and they decide to print more money again, that dilutes the value of the underlying currency. Things are a big, big mess out there. If you were around in 1971, like I was, and you held $1 through today, that dollar has lost 95% of its buying power. Printing money subsequent to the move by Nixon to get off the gold standard has completely destroyed the value of the US dollar. And mathematically, as we look forward, it doesn't look like it will be getting any better anytime soon. I'll be real interested to hear your thoughts on this subject. Please leave a comment in the comment section below. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, or have a completely different point of view on this subject, your thoughts matter. We want to hear from you, we want to learn from you, and we want to get to know you. But what's happening in the world now with all this financial stress? Remember, one of the key components underlying the value of the dollar, trust. Trust amongst countries is at an all-time low. And when that trust erodes, companies fold back into themselves. They're trying to avoid counterparty risk. And what's the ultimate form of money that has no counterparty risk? Well, that would be gold, and also silver for that matter. When countries hold it in their bank, in their country, they have it, it's there, it is of value. So gold is starting to become more and more attractive to countries throughout the world as a way to maintain and protect value. And on a personal note, if you are concerned about the financial system of the world, why not do what the central banks do? Hold some precious metals. Like I said earlier, don't always listen to what they say, look at what they do. You can be your own central bank by holding some silver, holding some gold if you like, maybe even looking into some of the precious metal mining stocks. Just an idea, not financial advice, but I wanted to share that with you. And what do you think about all these countries that are recently coming out talking about at least partially backing their currency with gold? We have the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, possibly Saudi Arabia joining them, coming together, developing a new world reserve currency outside of the dollar that they can trade with, that they want to back with real assets. And they have definitely alluded to the fact that those real assets that they're going to be backing their new world reserve currency with will include things like gold and silver and the other precious metals for that matter. Several countries in Africa, and now we even hear from Egypt, who said they want to move away from the US dollar and start to back their currency more with other things, including gold. So how do you think this will all play out? You can rest assured, as soon as I figure it out, I'm going to let you know. And if you want to know, turn on the little bell notification. You're going to have to find that one for yourself, but there's a little bell you can press. That way you'll get alerted every time I put out a new video. I think this may play out under one of two scenarios. Either the world is going to be forced, it's kind of like we already are on a gold standard to a certain degree. All these central banks hold gold. So in theory, all the currencies are to a certain degree backed by gold, but we may get an explicit plan that kind of forces the world to back their currencies with a certain percentage of gold. I don't think we're going to be walking around with gold coins in our pockets 5 years from now, buying groceries or other items with actual gold or silver coins. Hey, that would be great, right? I think a lot of us that study this field would love that, but realistically, I don't think that'll happen. I think a partial backing of currencies with real assets, including gold and silver, are the future of the world. We know a big portion of the world is moving in that direction and wants that to be the case. The other option may be some hybrid blockchain-related system where there's actual physical gold, auditable and verifiable backing electric forms of gold and silver, electronic forms of gold and silver. But the key there will be that it will be auditable and verifiable. We're going to see how it plays out. It's very, very interesting, but the world certainly appears to be moving in that direction. No more unicorn, fairy dust, fart money, right? Printed imaginary money. The world is demanding that, hey, we want to have some accountability and we want our currencies to be backed more with real assets. It's going to be interesting how it plays out. It might be a little rocky, and who knows how this all works out. Remember, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm happy to share my opinions with you. I'm even happier that you decided to join me here in the basement. I hope you decide to come back, and until next time, be well.